All right. Welcome to the Rocket Ledger Podcast, episode 79. I am your host, Supreme King. And join with me, as always, is my co-host, and his name is...
It's your guy, Obesis.
First and foremost, I guess I can address... So we did skip a week. My co-host was under the weather. And crying and everything. He was crying. It was hurting.
Well, I mean,
fetal position.
I got sick on Christmas, and then it stayed until New Year. I'm still a little bit sick, so if I randomly just pause, it's because I'm coughing.
All right. Well, we got a short one. It wasn't going to be too much that was going to go on. I was going to most likely report on some quick news quick news topics. And then a couple other things. There is a list of Epic Games stuff that I wanted to talk about. And then other than that, I mean, we gonna get out of here real early. We still celebrating the new year in a way. Happy New Year. Hope everybody had a great holiday season. The holidays are for the most part over. We're getting ready to see the wrath of the snow season soon. We'll see how that goes. But as of right now, I actually wanted to just get some of the stuff out of the way from last week. One cool thing that I will be looking forward to is it's almost confirmed that there might be a new Banjo Kazooie game, which is probably going to be kind of cool. So there's an audience for it. I guess this is coming directly from Phil Spencer, head of Xbox. Somebody or he must have mentioned in an interview recently, basically saying we hear you, I guess, and everybody took that and ran with it, because I guess somebody was just asking him about Banjo Kazooie. I didn't see the interview. This is all I really need to know. We'll know if it's official if we start seeing some teaser trailers, but that's a pretty cool thing.
You're the direct audience for that. That's what's up.
You said what? Say that again?
You're the direct audience for that. That's your game, Banjo Kazooie.
I mean, listen, only until we get to the ending, which they went off the rails and just pulled out a full-blown, like, multiple choice final exam or something. And I didn't like that. I was like, why did you do that? But yeah, so that happened with that game. I am technically playing Banjo Tooie. It was the second one on the Series X. I think it's part of the Rare replay. Shout out to Rare for having this Rare replay that has so many games, added to it. Perfect Dart is another one, and I believe for the digital owners, the 007 GoldenEye was added to it, and for everybody else, all of that is on Game Pass anyway. But yeah. So Banjo Kazooie, we might see that at some point. I look forward to it. Another thing for me for last week, I don't know if it's not really news. It was just, I guess, with God of War, the actor who played Kratos, he was mentioning he would never play an old one. He would never play T.C. Carson's Kratos.
Yeah, Christopher Judge.
Yeah. So out of respect for him, he would never play the old one. However,
younger Kratos.
yeah, younger Kratos. But also, so the Valhalla DLC is still a success, but I believe there were more rumors saying that there may be a God of War trilogy remaster that might come to the PS5. So people look out for that at some point. I think that would be pretty cool. It doesn't interest me too much because I've played through it so many times before. But for anybody else who wanted to know what the fuss is all about, that might happen. I'm not gonna get my hopes up too much. I feel as if it does happen, it's probably going to be somewhat similar to not Resident, Red Dead Redemption 1, where it was like quite literally just a port over. But if they port over the PS3 version, you know, at least you'll get it on PS5, hopefully also PC as well, so it's perfectly preserved. But yeah, that's something to look forward to. I have on here something about Insomniac leaks and the Sony sales. I don't even remember. So we can just go ahead and cut that.
I would just also write like as a short note. Me personally, not to judge anybody else, I'm staying away from a lot of the leaked information. I know sometimes for like a journalist, you want them to look up leaked information. I'm by no means a journalist, but I don't know. I feel like for certain companies like Insomniac, and a lot of them, it's just like, I don't want to see the leak. I want to see them announce it when they're ready to announce it, instead of me finding out 5 years before it releases or it gets canceled. Right? So, out of respect for that and trying not to give power to hackers and things like that, I try to stay away from all the leaks.
Yeah, it seemed like with everybody who's going to be hacking, it's just going to be business as usual anyway. It doesn't look like anybody's paying ransom for anything, and I don't blame them. Business as usual, and that's what I would expect. On the topic of PlayStation real quick, I wanted to mention something that I saw this morning. I was actually in a Walmart. I saw this morning, and I read right through this. This is kind of funny, but apparently, because I don't want to just single out this one guy, but I saw him return the PS5 Slim. Right, I saw him return it, but the key thing, see, this crazy because the people at the returns, they do not like know what's going on. He had the Spider-Man edition, and in my head automatically I was like, so you probably just took that digital code and just returned the whole system. I really think that's what he did. And I think we reported before that people was doing that type of thing with like other stuff. I know I've seen the controllers being replaced. People did that with Hasbro figures as well. It's like, okay, so like the fan base is being sneaky and shady out here, I guess. It's kind of crazy, but I witnessed it firsthand. I don't believe that the system had anything wrong with it. My man's went in there, grabbed the game, and got his money back. That's what I think he just did. As I was looking at it, like they checked all the hardware. They didn't check nothing else. They checked just the hardware.
Held out like $600 to get the system just to get a $70 game from.
Yeah, I think it should have been $500, because I think that bundle was $500.
He put away $500 to get it back later, just so you get a $70 game for free.
Yeah, that's what. I think a lot of people are probably doing that though. I think people are doing that with some of these bundles. That was a game that was probably like, well, it was PlayStation's hottest game of 2023. And I think other than that, there was the Call of Duty bundle, and then I believe a Diablo bundle on Xbox. I don't think people would do that much for Diablo or Call of Duty, but maybe somebody would do it for Call of Duty. Don't correct me if I'm wrong. I think people would probably do it for Call of Duty though, because the Call of Duty fan base is just massive. But Spider-Man, a one and done game, I think I think more people probably was doing this. But yeah, they only check the hardware in some of these places. You know, there's nothing. I mean, you can argue like if you just a worker up there, like, and a lot of them, like, I don't want to say just because they were all girls, but I don't know if they were really peeping it out. I peeped it immediately.
I don't think it has to do with gender. It has to do with who the work, like the place they're working at.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, they might not be aware. Because I remember I was seeing his body language a little bit, because they had to check everything, and he was just kind of standing there, you know, fidgeting a little bit, watching them do it.
But also at the same time, when returning, I don't think you can't return a digital code. Mm-hmm. So, like, you wouldn't have to return the code anyways. So on top of that, like, this is the consequence of moving to digital instead of physical. So
Yeah.
with the physical, if you're returning a bundle, you got to return everything in the bundle. But if your game code is digital, they can only take back the physical stuff, and then they can't resell it as like if you can return the whole bundle, you can sell it as a used bundle. Where now you can only sell the used console, so you can only get back the physical stuff.
Yeah, I don't.
So
I don't even think there's a way to check if the code has been used. There's no way to check.
You just have to assume it has been used.
Yeah.
The only way to check it is to put in the code. In which case, if it wasn't used, it's now
it's used, and it's like you can't refuse the return either, can you? I don't know if they can refuse it. That's not.
Think so. If
I don't
it's
think
within a certain window.
Yeah, that's a loophole. So like when they start coming out with more bundles like that, quite literally people could just do that. Like we technically we just made awareness to a whole nother crowd. I just thought it was like kind of crazy. I remember thinking though before I wanted that bundle. Remember I told you I was like I kind of want that. I can get the game, and then I could have that, and I could put it away. So when the PS5 becomes as old as the PS3, I would have one that I could use without having to go out to the, secondary market. But yeah, I think people doing that now. I think they're gonna do it now. Here's another thing though, because I think we can expand on this conversation real quick. Let's talk about those collector editions of those games. Remember how they don't want to give you a physical copy, but they want to give you a physical copy of everything else? What if somebody out there quite literally buys every collector's version of a game and returns each and every one of them and keeps the code each and every time? It's it's extreme and seems crazy, but what if somebody does that for literally every game?
Why would they do it for the collector's edition?
Because remember, the collector's editions don't come with a physical copy. They only come with a digital code.
Money back for the collector's edition. I don't know if can you return collector's edition stuff?
I mean, maybe you should be able to technically.
Yeah, if you can return collector's edition stuff, then yeah.
Because even Best Buy have them. What they gonna do? Be like, you just be like, the code's right there, but I didn't use it. And you just standing there, they're standing there. What are you gonna say? And you don't have to go to each store each time. See, now we didn't gave a whole bunch of people ideas, didn't we? Like,
don't say we. You came up.
I'm just saying, like, this is something that might happen, because they're still they will have to literally get to the point where it's like, okay, we can't even sell collector's editions no more. The collector's editions got to be all digital, almost like an NFT, in order for them to get around it.
Don't give the companies that idea.
But I see it happening.
That's their fault for moving
yeah, I see it happening. That's a crazy thing to think about it, but yeah, we could probably move forward. I see that happening though. I don't see it happening on a large scale. I just see at least a handful of people per state doing that. Not every game, but like their top fives. I can see them doing that, because you would get away with it. You would get away with it just like my man's just got away with it. I was like, yo, like dude, what's up. Like, what you're doing. I can see it. Let's move away to a different topic. I have one of your topics here. It's probably kind of like a 2-in-1. Disney and Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
What's going on?
The original design for Mickey Mouse, Steamboat Willie, the one that's always in black and white and it doesn't have the gloves on and it's like on a boat and it's like whistling along. That one has now hit the public domain.
Like Winnie the Pooh, right?
Yep, like Winnie the Pooh and the Grinch. And the moment it happened, 2 horror movies and a horror video game all got announced for Steamboat Willie. Now, where I will tell people to be careful, because Disney got their lawyers ready to go, you can't have the Mickey Mouse with the gloves. Like current Mickey Mouse, with the gloves and everything, that's still a copyrighted design.
Okay.
That is still owned by
so
them.
they're separating the two then. There's not just Mickey Mouse in general.
Exactly, because he had a redesign. So you have to specifically use Steamboat Willie on stuff. And I would still say be careful, because what public domain typically means is, have you ever noticed, like, if you're watching certain interviews or things on TV, and let's say they're drinking, like, Mountain Dew, they'll have it backwards so you can't see the label or something like that. Or, like, if you're watching a TV show and they'll use, like, sometimes they'll have, like, Adidas, but then they'll have also fake stores and everything because they can't use the real ones. It's because you have to pretty much pay to use their copyrighted name.
Okay.
However, when it hit public domain, you could just use it. So if I was writing a book, I could just say something about like the kid having a Winnie the Pooh collection or something like that because it's public domain. It's like using Dracula in a story, right? It's like the domain is over. You don't really own Dracula anymore. So anybody can just use the name Dracula and it's fine. Where I can't use Blade specifically. That's what public domain means. So they can use Steamboat Willie and they can use that design to do other stuff. But I'm pretty sure someone's going to mess up and use the one with gloves, and Disney is going to be on them. And if you think they wouldn't be on them, well, they're already suing a car wash in Chile for having, it was called Star Wash, where all the workers are dressed like Star Wars characters, and it's just this little small town, like, it's not even like a chain, it's just this one little car wash in Chile. And Disney got a hold of it, they found out, and they're suing them for using the Star Wars designs and names. Even though everyone understood this has nothing to do with Disney, people are like, come on, just let them get their, like, they're not even rich. Like, they're just making money in their small town, and they only knew about this because someone probably filmed it and put it on TikTok. Disney don't care. They're suing. They're just like, they're suing that, and I'm pretty sure they got their lawyers ready to sue. So the first person who makes a Mickey Mouse t-shirt thinking they can just sell it, you go get sued.
That's so crazy. With Mickey Mouse though, so we're gonna see a game. Is the game gonna be like Dead by Daylight? It looked like that to me.
It looked like it's a first person shooter thing, but like you're running away from Steamboat Willie. Yep.
So another one of those. That'll be all right. That'll be okay.
Yep. And just like the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, or you're the mean one, you're getting 2 Steamboat Willie horror movies. The game is called it's called Infestation Origin. That's the game.
Well, it'll probably be fun for some Twitch people, you know.
Oh yeah.
But I guess speaking of Twitch, you want to give us an update on what's going on with Twitch? I guess what's going on.
Twitch was like, artistic nudity is okay. Then they were like, oh no, it's not okay. No artistic nudity. Sorry. Now they even went even more strict and updated it, and they said you can't even like hint that you're naked. So if you're trying to do a stream where you put like a censor bar over yourself, or you're being like partially nude, or you're just like you're making the joke of, hey, look, I'm nude, whether you are actually nude or not, implying that you were nude is also gonna get you banned.
I think I know what you're talking about, because some of them were sitting a certain way where it looked like they sitting like that.
Yep.
That's
and
goofy.
Easy things that you can wear, like they have those even like, I want to sound like a Neanderthal describing this, but I know there's those shirts. It's like a tube top, I think it is, but it's like a shirt where basically it like wraps like a band around your chest, so like girls can wear that. And if you wear that and then just like angle the camera correctly, you can just look like that you're not wearing a shirt. And Twitch is like, no, like we ain't doing. So
I mean, they're gonna try to bend the rules any way they can, I guess. But yeah.
I don't understand why Twitch doesn't make just 2 sites.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Didn't I say that at one point? Twitch After Dark, because people was running around those tags. Twitter After Dark or Facebook After Dark. They might as well just actually do an After Dark and just cut it right down the middle. But they're in it for the money, just like anybody else. So I don't really see anything happening. Okay. I have technically another topic that's not really a big topic. It's just something that I just want to see for 2024. Maybe you could tell me what you want to see for 2024. But basically, I would like to see a return of big budget linear games where it's just a start to finish. It goes for however long it goes, and you tell a nice solid story. You have nice solid gameplay. It's not bloated with like all this side stuff to do, bloated with a bunch of microtransactions and cosmetic stuff. You just have a start to finish, like your not, I don't want to say playable movie, because I feel like that has already a negative connotation in the industry anyway. Lots of gameplay, but you have a nice start to finish. That's what I would like to see in 2024.
You are preaching to the choir, homie. So I was gonna wait till I got some footage to bring this up, but I'm currently playing Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Okay.
And let me just say, as much as I'm enjoying it, the first game was far better.
Okay.
Far better. So one of the issues with this is it does feel bloated. There is a lot of side quests and it is open world, but like at the same time, it's like I almost feel like I'm never going in the right direction. Like whenever I'm trying to do something, I always feel like I'm just lost. And even if I'm moving in the right direction, it doesn't feel like it's the right direction. Like I feel like I'm doing something wrong. Some of the puzzles are not intuitive. Where like even just for traversal to get from one place to the other, like 3 times now I had to look it up. Like what was I supposed to do next? Or sometimes it turns out I was going the wrong way, and this was something for like later in the game that I didn't realize. But like it's weird where it's like I had to look it up, and I've looked up what other people said, and they also said it's like it's just not intuitive. And again, it's just I feel like it's like, am I doing this right? Like that's how I just feel. The other issue with the game is the combat.
Okay.
Real quick, I just got the combat is not good. The first game was very like trying to mimic kind of a Souls-like thing, right? It's like parry and dodge, get your hits in when you can, but look for timing and watch out. This new one is like, all right, parry, dodge, try and follow the attack pattern. Sometimes the attack pattern is just going to change, and everybody has a block meter. So button mash and just hack and slash until you can get down their block meter so it'll stagger them. However, they'll interrupt you mid-combo to hit their moves. You can't interrupt their moves mid-combo, and they're going to spam unblockable attacks. So make sure you're dodging and watch out for those, and fight like Kratos, but fight like a Dark Souls game. And it's like, make up your mind. What do you want? Like there's so many moments where it's like you're supposed to be careful, dodging, and then you just hack and slash like Kratos, trying to get their dodge meter down. However, it'll just decide it wants to hit a combo, cut you off, and then their block meter will just go right back up, and you barely did any damage. And it just feels like there isn't a timing for attacks where you're trying to figure out a pattern. It'll just start doing random stuff sometimes. But then also it'll spam unblockable attacks where you're supposed to just dodge. And it's like, do you want me to master parrying or not? Like how, it doesn't feel like it knows what it wants to combat and everything. And it feels like they're trying to do too much. So I can just say the first game is better. So I gotta agree with you. I want a more linear start to finish. It's great. I don't mind a side quest here and there, but I don't need like 50 side quests in between, like the main story. It's just a linear, nice, solid game. I agree with you.
I say that because at the last minute, going into the last final days of 2023, I was managing to like beat a few games. We beat a game in co-op, and then I beat a couple games, one through emulation, one through regular, on the PS5, and I'll mention it later. But I was excited and satisfied with what I had, and it wasn't. Now I believe so. We played the Tiny Tina's Dragon's Keep game. There was side quests, but we chose to just not do them. right?
Yeah.
We
Yep.
just chose to not do them, and we really did fly through that little story campaign, which was originally a DLC. I played Metroid Zero Missions for the Game Boy Advance from start to finish. It was my first time playing since a really, really long time. But
Yeah.
I had got through it relatively quickly. For anybody looking to get into Metroid, that's the first game you actually want to start with, unless you go with the original Metroid from the NES, and it looks 10 times horrible. So go with the remake for the Game Boy Advance. You would not be disappointed. But I was able to go through some of these games like from start to finish, and just that was it, and it was fun. And it was not a hassle whatsoever. They didn't break the immersion with telling us at the last minute go get a bunch of like levels up.
Yeah.
Borderlands did that in one of the previous games, but they didn't do it with the Tiny Teeny one. I definitely appreciate that, because we were able to just get it through literally in one day, and mark it off. But that's definitely what I would like to see more of.
To add to that for me, Sea of Stars was that way.
Mhm.
Where the difference is I wanted to do the side quest for it, right?
Yeah,
I didn't do all of them, but I wanted to do the ones that I did. And then Tiny Tina's we beat, and then I also beat Uncharted 3.
Okay.
And to me, that was perfect. It was linear. It felt like solid gameplay. It was, of course, played out like a movie, but that doesn't have side quest at all. Like it was a nice, solid, contained, linear story, and it was just so good. Like it was really just good. So yeah, that's what I would like. If I had to pick something different from you for what I want to see in 2024, better, and it won't happen, but better sports games. I would love to get back into like Madden and stuff, but it's just I can't support them just releasing the same thing over and over with.
Yeah, but that's another thing too, is when it's linear like that, it has a little bit more replayability to it. You would want to come back to it maybe even like once a year almost, if it's really that good. But when it's like not, it's like you're like so done with it, you don't even really want to play the sequel that much. That's kind of a bad thing. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that. But I think we can go ahead and move to the halfway point. This might be a very short episode. I'm trying to aim for it to go under 30 minutes, but it's not. It's going to go over probably like 40 minutes. But that's okay. So halfway point is usually when we talk about like epic games and everything. And this time it's very cool because there was so many games that they gave away, and I hope a lot of people caught on to these because they ended it with a bang, but there were some nice ones in between. But the last time we spoke, we left off at around Christmas Eve. And, well, just so everybody's aware, Epic Games gives out a game usually once or twice every week. But when they head into Christmas, they end up doing it every day, basically. And then it goes a little bit past Christmas, and then they go back to doing it once a week or twice a week again, all the way until next Christmas again, or Christmas season. And so they're doing it again, or they did it again. And I have that on Christmas Eve, they gave away Ghostwire Tokyo. They followed that up with the Outer Worlds Space Choice Edition on Christmas Day.
Outer Worlds, Outer Worlds, Spacer's Choice Edition.
Say it again.
Outer Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Spacer's Choice.
Spacer's Choice. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I could just say this was one of my top games that I played in 2020.
Oh, okay.
This was like top tier. Like it was. I love this game. It is Fallout in space, like Fallout or Skyrim-ish sort of thing. More RPG-ish than Skyrim. So like Fallout, but in space.
All right, and this was their Christmas gift that year, I guess, for 2023. They followed that up on the 26th with Human Resource Machine. That was followed by Curse to Golf on the 27th.
Yeah.
The 28th, they had Cat Quest. I actually thought that looked pretty cool. Little Cat Quest game.
Have you ever... Oh, you never played it? The
I
Capcom
haven't.
series?
It's like 2 or 3 of them, I think.
Yeah,
I haven't played
they're
them.
good.
And then the 29th they had Snake Bird Complete, and then the 30th they had Saints Row, the latest one. So now that's been given away on a few different systems for me. And then that's followed by Ghost Runner on the 31st. Yep. So some bigger games here, technically. Some bigger ones.
The current game is actually one of my top games of 2023.
Okay.
That I played in 2023, and then giving away Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, if you have not played this, I feel so bad that I like shut away from this because of Marvel's Avengers. I finally played it again this year, and it was one of my top games. It was so good. And that's the one that they're giving away for free, I think, until the 11th.
Yeah. Let me get to that in a second. So after Ghost Runner on the 1st, it was Escape Academy. And then on the 2nd, it was 20 Minutes Till Dawn. And then they followed that out with A Plague's Tale. I thought that was another one that was a little bit more bigger. And then we get to Marvel's Guardian of the Galaxy. And this one, they give you a full 7 days for until the 11th. So from now to the 11th, we're almost out of time. Well, no, we're not. We got plenty of time for that. And then from the 11th to the 18th, they're going to give away Sail Forth, which is like a ship type game or whatever. So yeah, pretty good lineup. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy is a big game. A lot of people did overlook it because of like Marvel Avengers, but it is one of their last ones to like really kick off their like 17 games in a row thing. And yeah, so you beat that, right? You beat that game?
Yes, I did.
How would you rank
Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah, how would you rank it compared to like all the other superhero games that you played?
I did like Spider-Man a little bit more because it felt, it's Spider-Man. What can you say? But it's top 5. It is top 5 for me. So like I would say probably the Spider-Mans, the Batmans, Infamous, and then Guardians of the Galaxy is up there.
All right.
In fact, like I said, it was like out of what we had to pick, like what was our top 3 games we played 2023. I'm pretty sure I threw Guardians of the Galaxy in there. Like it dives heavy into the RPG of it, where you're just Star-Lord and you're kind of commanding the other team, and you really like get into the story. And it's just how do you relate to your other like team members and everything, and then you command them in fights while you're fighting and stuff. And it's real intuitive. Like you get into it right away for the combat. The story's good. It's a very solid game. Yeah, it's up there. I would say it's in my top 5.
Okay. Okay. Well, do you want to I need to take a quick bathroom break. Can you tell them about the Tetris situation real quick while I come back?
Yeah. I do also want to say for Epic, if you hear, we kind of was like, oh shoot, like they gave away Saints Row for free, and then like kind of bashed when PlayStation gave away Saints Row for free. And I just want to talk about the difference, and it's a shout out to Epic Games. I want to be called like a hypocrite for like praising it on one and bashing it on the other. It's because Epic's free, right? Like Epic, you can just make an account, it's free, and then you can download all of these free games that they're giving, but the whole thing is free. So everything is just like a gift, and it's way more acceptable getting these like indie games or like a game that wasn't rated well or things like that because it's free, where PlayStation upped the price and then gave away Saints Row. Which to me sucks. So I just don't want to call a hypocrite over that. But yeah. Now talking about this kid, 13-year-old Willis Gibson is believed to be the first, at least he's the first on record, to beat the original Tetris. So these old school arcade games, they weren't designed to like just have an because the whole point is kids have to keep putting their quarters in to play. And once people start getting really good and they start getting too far, it kind of breaks the game because it didn't expect anyone to ever reach that far in the game. So it can no longer start generating what it needs to generate. It breaks the whole code and the whole system like just crashes. That's considered beating a lot of these old games like Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man and Galaga, Dig Dug and Tetris and things like that. Is just them crashing. And this kid was able to get Tetris to crash. So he's been dedicating like a lot of time playing this. And then sometime in December, towards the end, uh, he was able to keep playing the game until it crashed on him. So he was the one that got to beat it. So shout out to this kid. Good for him. I didn't know like kids like play Tetris like that. So it's nice to see. Um, with practice, set your mind to it, and you can do this type of stuff. I don't know if the co-host is back. I don't think he is. Uh, but yeah. So besides that, I guess talking about the two games, I didn't really talk about it. So for Outer Worlds, yeah, it's like RPG Fallout. There's this like twisted story going on, and the idea is you wake up as this one dude with pretty much amnesia, and you're trying to figure out, or well, you can design your character, but you're trying to figure out why the planets are the way they are, what's going on in the political world of the game, and you're kind of designing a team as you go. Uh, and it's a pretty fun game. If you never got around to that one, I definitely suggest it. I think the Spacer's Choice edition comes with the DLC, which is good because this is one of the games that I think handled DLC horribly because the DLC came out months after the game. However, there's a point towards the end of the game where you can no longer access the DLC. So if you had beaten it before the DLC came out, you needed to restart or hopefully saved before the point of no return. And it's not like a short game.
I'm back.
But what is cool? But what is cool about Outer Worlds is there is differences in when you play it, because it depends on the relationships you build with different factions and stuff. But the co-host is back, so we can go on. We talked about the kid.
You talked about. Did you mention like I guess the news reporters situation?
No, what happened?
Because I believe some of them was taking a dig at him for some reason. Like
I did hear that Sky. It said people were saying that Sky News got mad, or people got mad at Sky News. But I didn't see
I
why.
think that might have been who it was. I just know somebody took a dig at him.
Apparently I see it now. So some anchor Sky. That's why people are mad at Sky News. Because the Sky News anchor tells 13-year-old boys to go out. All right, so here's why I hate this type of stuff. When people always want to bash like the video game
It's
thing
just
and, like,
silly.
get a life and go outside. My thing is like your life that you have is usually watching reality television. Let's be real. Calling out some of these people, it's like when they do this and it's like, oh, well, I got a job and I go outside. It's like, good. And then you spend the rest of your time either having to go to your kid's soccer game or watching Discovery. Like Max even, HBO fused with Discovery because everybody was watching just the reality shows. So you sit down and you watch other people do stuff and then try and criticize somebody else for playing video games. Or the people who be like, I'm a grown man, I don't play video games, but they only watch sports and everything. It's like, so you're going to criticize the gamer for playing a game, but then you just watch other grown men be active. Like,
but this was
real.
a kid though, right? It's still a kid.
Is telling a 13-year-old go outside because he beat Tetris and everything like that. Like, he accomplished something nobody else has. Meanwhile, you're just sitting behind a news anchor desk trying to be funny because you don't understand video games. At least he has a hobby and he's doing something. What do you do with your life? All you do is probably nag and complain and upset your family. So, nah, they suck.
Yeah, I think it was more than one too. I don't think it was just one. I think it was two. I think it was like two different people who did it. But yeah, I don't. Do we know who that news anchor person was by name? Do we know that person?
Jane Sucker. She said, as a mother, I would just say step away from the screen and go outside, get some fresh air. Beating Tetris is not a life goal. But apparently somebody said, it is, their tweet was, it is the year of our Lord 2024, and Sky News is still telling people who play video games to go outside and get some fresh air. Notably, on the same day, they're praising a 16-year-old darts player.
Yeah, that was just crazy. That was just crazy. I think we're kind of done. The last thing I do want to mention was there was some more Switch 2 rumors that was coming out. Mainly the thing I was mentioning was, or the thing I wanted to mention was like Bayonetta apparently might have a trilogy version that the Switch is going to probably sell, which is going to be like a remaster-ish for like Switch 2, Switch 1 and Switch 2. This was the rumor, and that was going to be all in one. I don't know if it's going to be all on the cartridge though. It could be partially cloud version, but they are looking to do like a Bayonetta trilogy. I don't think it includes the Cereza game. It's just the Bayonetta 1, 2, and 3. That's just something that was a rumor. Do you think Switch 2 is coming out this year? Think that's what they're gonna call it?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be called. It's probably gonna be called Switch 2. I don't know if it's gonna come out this year, but I feel like it needs to come out sooner rather than like. What games have been announced for this year under Switch? Is any?
So they got a game each month. That's supposed to have been coming out except for this month. Funny enough, I went and got the Metroid Prime remaster though this month. But next month, I believe it's supposed to be Mario versus Donkey Kong, like the puzzle type game. That one's only going to be like $50, and then February, I believe, man, I don't know it by heart.
So
I know the March is the Peach game. You remember the Peach one?
Oh, that's right. She was like
yeah. Oh
okay,
no,
so I think
I'm dumb. February is the Donkey Kong versus Mario game. What am I saying? Yeah.
Okay, so I think if it comes out this year, it's gonna come out around Christmas.
Yeah.
With one game, like it's gonna be either like the new Mario Kart or something like that, and then I think next year is gonna be a lineup where like once a month some like Switch 2 mega game is gonna come out. Like I think that's what they're saying. It was like for the next year, it's like you're gonna get that new Pokemon, that new Legend of Zelda something, that new like regular Mario platformer. Like I think the games for it will all be next year, but the hardware maybe around Christmas.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't think it's gonna hit like a 4K sort of thing, like at all. So like the longer they wait, the more I think it has a chance of being disappointing.
Yeah.
Like nothing against them. It's just I feel like announcing this year handheld 1080p is gonna be way more well received than announcing next year handheld 1080p and then the year after handheld 1080p. Right? It's like the more years you go, the less that's gonna be like a accepted thing.
I believe we're gonna see at least one PC handheld per year going forward. I think that's gonna happen. It's not gonna be from the same companies. I think it's just another company's gonna come in, then another one's gonna come in, and then one of the earlier ones is gonna announce a sequel. And I think we're just gonna see an influx of PC handhelds, and it's gonna slowly replace the laptop. For a lot of people, that's my prediction as far as the PC side for it. But I am curious to see what the Switch 2 is going to be about, what the specs and everything. People are giving rumors that they might do some VR stuff as well. So we'll see. But yeah, I think that's all I got for this episode. Very, very quick episode. I really want to get into Evil West. I think that's the game that we're going to play. I also want to mention a big game that hit Game Pass, or is hitting Game Pass. Resident Evil 2 is a game that I actually just got done finishing. Fantastic game. The remake. But I'm going to play the original as well. For a lot of people, this is like one of the peak like remakes. And then 4, they're saying 4, exceeds it. But 2 is a really big one that really grabbed a bigger audience, and it is fantastic. I'm going to replay that one as Claire. I played as Leon. Definitely everybody should check out the Resident Evil series if they haven't already. But yeah, that's a big game hitting Game Pass. I think Assassin's Creed Valhalla was the other one that I saw was a little bit more of a bigger game that's going there, and I think they had like a whole bunch of other games, but mainly Resident Evil 2. I finished that one. I'm about to start Resident Evil 3. I'm about to go through a lot of Resident Evil games from the past and present, until I'm caught up on the series, because I'm very much invested into the series. And yeah, I think that's all I can say. Cool episode, nice and short and sweet. We might start to see some more bigger gaming news topics next week. I think everybody is still in the holiday jitters, which is fine, because it's a neutral time. We don't have to be at each other's throats as far as like, gaming news seems to be like that. They go back and forth with their audience a little bit, and the console wars and stuff a little bit. But now it's like we're in a neutral space right now, so let's enjoy it and enjoy gaming. Evil West is a big game we're going to start today. Hopefully that doesn't take too many weeks, but I'm excited about that. You excited about that?
Yeah, it should be fun. It looks like it's going to be chaotic. Excited.
Yeah. But that's all we got for you here. Leave a like on this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'll catch you on the next one. You will start seeing a lot more videos roll out for me, because I have a couple creative spaces where I can really flesh them out. And there are going to be a lot of them coming from my car as well, which is going to be pretty funny, because that's not a traditional recording area, but I bought the car mount, and I bought like this little ring light that you put on your phone to be able to do that. So we'll see how that works out, if it's good enough. But yeah, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week. Peace.